Hello, Collective. Wendy Joy, Love and Light. When you think about memories, what do you usually hold in your heart space? Is it usually joy, or is it the opposite? When a memory comes your way, do you push it out of your mind and try to forget about it? Or do you reflect upon the past situation or mindset, person, place, whatever that memory may be? And or do you look for what value that maybe you might have missed at the time when that memory was being formed, right? Like at the time that the occurrence was happening, or the situation was playing out, or you were going through whatever the endeavor is that you currently remember now because of a memory. And that memory could have been jogged from a past event, maybe by a current sensation or feeling or mindset or something that you hear or you see, or, that could be playing out in someone else's energy, right? So memories typically are thought of as good places, safe spaces, right? But not all memories are, of love and light, because some memories that we hold on to, harbor the opposite energy. And sometimes we hold on to, darker memories, if you will, as a lesson, a tool, a reminder that if we feel or sense or, intuitively know or just innerly know, right? That the situation, the place, the person, the mindset that you're approaching, walking into, coming in contact with holds the same energy as a lesson that you could have learned in the past, right? Now, those memories, they could be let go of because you've already kept the value of the knowledge that came along with that memory. So we're not forced, it's a choice. So if we're more of a visual learner, then maybe I could see that if we leave a piece of a visual past hurt or issue that we overcame, buried down deep within us, that it will help us pivot, adapt, change perceptions, view in a different manner, maybe even bend to a different degree, right, in order to avoid or find an alternative solution, and bring that into play instead. But on some level, by you anyone harboring a vision of the past, you have the ability, like keeping it inside of you, like as you reflect upon the value and the lesson, that you actually see yourself in that position, you could be inadvertently inviting that back in. So you have to let go of the visuals if they're not suiting your best interest. Like, a learning lesson doesn't have to be a lifelong lesson. So when we're processing events, situations, mindsets, as we're uncovering more of our inner truth, our inner self, and we're discarding the different layers that no longer suit us, it is most definitely okay to discard the visual of a past event that didn't really work out all so well in, like it came as a trial. And although you could have, you know, overcame that trial and flipped it into, you know, a doable, workable, you know, beneficial situation, you know, the value of that is all you really need to hold on to. So when you give the visual of it back to the universe, right, and say, thank you very much for the lesson that I survived, I no longer need to hold on to a visual picture of where I once was, because the value of learning the lesson, of being able to rely on your inner self, your discernment, your inner knowledge, your intuition, your clear, resonating knowing, helped you through a situation and get past it with ease. So that's really the only thing that you need to hold on to. The determination, the motivation, the resilience, and the ability to stay positive, even if a situation could turn at any moment different. It's how you choose to see yourself in that space during that specific time and place. And that knowledge is what you need to retain. And everything else is just a reminder that you were once there. But you don't need that reminder. You don't need to bring a once there back into a future position, because you've already, you've got the value, and it's right here. And it's not like you're stuffing it away. You know, you worked your whole life, even if you're only like 20. It's still a long time to live when you're walking in a world that is trying to suppress and hold you down, right? But by you holding the value of knowing, accepting, and believing in you and your inner judgment, your inner compass, valuing the lessons and using them to your benefit, put you in a higher position, gives you a much higher playing space where you've got more room. So you don't have to sit down anymore. Stand up. Put your arms up over your head and out to the side and all around, and push those barriers that maybe kept you here. Push them out. Just keep pushing them out. And before you know it, you'll have enough room that you can just stand and flip that lid right off. And when you do that, your whole world will open up. All thanks to a memory that may have once brought you through a tumultuous time, but a memory that in the end you survived. You found solutions. You moved. You grew. You advanced. You trusted your direction. I don't expect that anybody's going to come across such crazy events in their life. But you know what? If you do, I'm certainly happy to be a part of, you know, the endeavors, how you handled what you did, what your mindset was, if fight or flight kicked in, if you panicked, if you just trudged through. I'm quite curious, because everybody handles situations differently. And whether we outwardly show boldness and courageousness doesn't necessarily mean that we're holding that same feeling inside. You know, we could be like shaking in our boots inside, but we still decided to choose forward motion, knowing that our forward movement will show our mindset that it's okay to pivot and turn. So, little bit of tidbit, but I was just given another memory. And when I was young, I went to modeling school. I wanted to be a runway model. I wanted to try on clothes and walk up and down and strut my stuff and show everything off, right? And what they taught us in modeling school was how to walk, how to be balanced, how to be poised and stuff, and how to turn. And they called it dotting your I. So when you turned, right, you had one foot firm, your back foot firm, and your front foot toe first, dot your I, and then pivot. The last thing to turn is your head. And I got a little kick out of that because it's true. You turn your physical motion sometimes before you pivot your mindset, because your mindset is holding on to a predated perception, whatever, like an outdated thing, but your forward motion is being led by the movement that you make, and your feet know that. So your feet are trying to take you in the direction in which your soul wants you to go, and your mind is coming full circle. And with that, your third eye will open and pop, and you'll be able to see yourself. Maybe. I don't know. Food for thought.